Hello, this is Alan here with a new tutorial. Today we're going to focus on isolations. So two hand isolations and one hand isolations. Quite circular isolations with our arms. So first I will demonstrate it and then I'll break it down. So we're going to focus on this triangle isolation. So I'll just go through it once just to refresh your memory. We start with the palms facing forwards, thumbs together, fingers together in our diamond position. We're going to stir to one side. So if you want to mirror me, you're going to stir to the left, then go across to the right, stir to the right and go across to the right, then stir to the left, back to the starting position, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. There were 4 different positions, yeah? So what is happening, as you can see, the wrist is drawing a circle in space to make the ball stay isolated in the same spot. And go obviously backwards and forwards. You can also do a very tiny, like this. Very tiny, same motion. Medium motion. And then full motion. The 3 of them, or all levels of motion, have different visuals. I recommend you try all of them. But for now, we're going to focus on the full motion. So we're going to start by drawing the circle with the wrist in steps. So first, if we put our fingers on our wrist, this really helps. We're basically going to draw a circle with that finger. The finger is just going to go around the ball. So first, we're going to go forwards with the wrist until it cannot go any longer. Trying to leave the ball in the same spot. If you have a mirror, you can always draw a little dot in the mirror, or draw a ball with a marker that you can erase later. And then that really helps to practice your isolation so they stay in the same spot. So again, we're going to go forwards with the wrist, and back. So that first movement is very important. Forwards until it cannot go any longer, and back, reaching the full range of motion there. Forward, and back. Forward, and back. So once we reach the whole way forward that we cannot move any longer, we're gonna spin the wrist out. Out. Then we're gonna spin the wrist down. So now that the wrist spun in this direction, this axis, let's call it again the front and backwards, frontwards and backwards axis. Then we have the side to side axis, or left and right axis. So once the wrist is here, the point of that it cannot keep going, we're going to spin it all the way to here, where it can also not keep going. Okay, let's do that from the beginning again. Just those 2 steps. First step, forwards. Second step, sideways. Then the third step is the trickiest one. We are going to bring this wrist up from here. So from down, we're going to bring it back there. So we have to move our arm so the ball stays. See how my arm is going from here? I'm bringing my elbow in a tiny little bit. So once you got there, at the same time as you do that movement, I want you to bring your hand around back to the starting point. So you're doing this motion at the same time as you're doing this motion. It is more this one first. So this one is kind of starting as the other one starts. Back to 0. Okay? So we have step 1, forward, step 2, to the side, and then step 3, in, back to the starting position, and step 4, twisting around. So that twisting around looks like this. It's just using the rotation of the forearm to go around. So the combination of this plus this is what makes that illusion. So the arm is doing this rotation the whole time. I highly recommend to warm up the wrist before this, and to also not train too much with it with the acrylic, because it's really heavy and it can damage your wrist or your elbow. So really practice with this one as much as possible, and then grab the acrylic to clean it up, or just because it looks pretty. So the more and more you do it, the smoother it's going to come. So if you can see, I'm not stopping at any point. But you can. It also looks cool. Like stop. You want to do some kind of robotic kind of movements, which with contact ball looks really cool. And then you can stop, and it gives you a really nice illusion. So there's no right or wrong. It's just what you can do with it. So let's practice it the opposite direction. So for the opposite direction, you're going to twist the hand first so that the palm is facing up. Yeah? Twist the forearm with the hand. Then you're going to push the wrist in that way. So you push it in that way. But you need to extend your elbow so that happens. If you don't extend your elbow, then the ball is just going to move in space, and you're isolating your wrist, which is also completely valid, but we'll get to that later. So we have to move our arm forwards to keep the ball in the same spot. So basically what is happening is that the wrist is traveling from here to under the ball. Okay? So we will do that. Then what we're doing is the opposite of what we did, coming down. So we're going to spin the wrist from down to up. Yeah? And then basically we're on number 2, going forwards. So we're just one step back and coming back. Again, from this perspective, flip the arm, push the wrist forwards, flip the wrist around all the way up, from down to up. Really use your finger. Your finger is your best friend here, because you can imagine you're drawing a circle with the wrist, you know? In this case, it's only a half circle. And then when we're here, we push back down, yeah? So it's all going to feel more robotic at first when you try it, but when you mix it all together, it's really going to come together. So you go forwards. Before you even get to your non-stop position, you're already turning around. And then before you even get it, you're already coming back, so it's all merging together. And as you can see, my elbow is also moving in a circle, or somewhat of a circle. Everything to make the ball appear to be in the same spot in space. Thank you and see you next time. Bye bye.